curiouser and curiouser," cried Alice. She was so surprised she forgot good English. "Now I'm opening out like the largest telescope ever. Goodbye, feet." She looked down, and her feet seemed very far away. "Oh, my poor feet! Who will put on your shoes and stockings now?" "I'm sure I won't be able. I'll be too far away to think about you." "You must manage the best way you can." "But I must be kind to them," Alice thought, "or they won't walk where I want." "I'll give them new boots every Christmas." She thought how she would manage it. "They must go by the mail," she thought. "How funny it will seem, sending gifts to her own feet. Alice's right foot, Esquire, hearth rug near the fender, with Alice's love." Oh dear, what silly things I'm saying. Just then, her head hit the roof of the hall. She was now more than 9 feet tall. She picked up the key and hurried to the garden door. Poor Alice. She lay on her side to look into the garden. Getting through was harder. She sat down and started to cry again. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself," said Alice. "A big girl like you to cry like this? Stop this moment, I tell you." But she kept crying many tears. Soon a large pool formed all around her, 4 inches deep and reaching halfway down the hall. After a while, she heard small steps. She dried her eyes. It was the White Rabbit returning. He was dressed with white kid gloves in one hand and a fan in the other. He came running very fast, muttering to himself, "Oh, the Duchess, the Duchess! Oh, won't she be angry if I've kept her waiting?" Alice felt sad she wanted help. So when the rabbit came near, she began in a low, quiet voice, "If you please, sir." The rabbit jumped, dropped the gloves and fan, and ran away as fast as he could. Alice picked up the fan and gloves. The hall was hot, so she fanned herself while talking. Dear, dear. How strange everything is today. And yesterday things were just as usual. I wonder if I've changed in the night. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I remember feeling different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who am I? Ah, that's the big puzzle. She started thinking about all the children she knew who were her age. She wanted to see if she had changed into one of them. I'm sure I'm not Ada, she said, for her hair is in long curls, and mine doesn't have curls at all. And I can't be Mabel, for I know many things, and she knows so little. Besides, she's she, and I'm I, and oh dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try if I know all the things I used to know. Let me see. 4 times 5 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is, oh dear, I will never get to 20 at that rate. The multiplication table doesn't matter. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome, no, that's all wrong, I'm sure. I must have changed into Mabel. I'll try and say, how doth the little... She crossed her hands on her lap like she was doing lessons. She began to repeat it, but her voice sounded rough and strange. The words were not the same as they used to be. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcome little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. I'm sure those are not the right words, said poor Alice. Her eyes filled with tears again. I must be Mabel after all, and I shall have to go and live in that small house and have almost no toys to play with, and oh, so many lessons to learn. No, I've decided about it. If I'm Mabel, I'll stay down here. It will be no use for them to put their heads down and say, "Come up again, dear." I will only look up and say, "Who am I then?" Tell me that first, and then if I like being that person, I'll come up. If not, I'll stay down here till I'm somebody else. But oh dear, cried Alice, suddenly bursting into tears. I do wish they would put their heads down. I am so very tired of being all alone here. As she said this, she looked down at her hands. She was surprised to see that she had put on one of the rabbit's white kid gloves while she was talking. How can I have done that? She thought. I must be growing small again. She went to the table to measure herself. She found she was now 2 feet tall and shrinking fast. She soon found out the fan she was holding was causing this. She dropped it quickly, just in time to stop shrinking completely. That was a close escape, said Alice. She was scared by the change, but happy to be alive. And now for the garden. She ran very fast back to the little door, but sadly, the little door was shut again. The key was on the glass table as before. And things are worse than ever, thought the poor child, for I was never this small before, never. And I say it's too bad, it truly is. As she said these words, her foot slipped, and in another moment, splash! She was up to her chin in salty water. Her first thought was she had fallen into the sea. She soon realized she was in the pool of tears she had cried when 9 feet tall. I wish I hadn't cried so much, said Alice as she swam around, trying to find a way out. I will be punished for it now, I guess, by drowning in my own tears. That will be a strange thing for sure, but everything is strange today. Just then she heard splashing in the pool. She swam nearer to see what it was. At first she thought it must be a walrus or hippopotamus, but then she remembered her small size. She soon saw it was only a mouse that had slipped in, like her. Would it be useful, thought Alice, to speak to this mouse? Everything is so out of the way down here, it can probably talk. No harm in trying. So she began, "Oh, Mouse, do you know the way out of this pool?" "I am very tired of swimming here, oh, Mouse." The mouse looked at her with a question, winked with one eye, but said nothing. Perhaps it doesn't understand English, thought Alice. I dare say it's a French mouse, so she began again. Où est ma chatte? This was the first sentence in her French lesson book. The mouse gave a sudden jump out of the water and seemed to shake all over with fear. "Oh, I beg your pardon," cried Alice quickly, afraid that she had hurt the poor animal's feelings. "I quite forgot you didn't like cats." "Not like cats?" cried the mouse in a loud, angry voice. "Would you like cats if you were me?" "Well, perhaps not," said Alice in a soft voice. "Don't be angry." "I wish I could show you our cat Dinah. I think you'd like cats if you could only see her." "She is such a dear, quiet thing," Alice went on, half to herself as she swam slowly in the pool. "And she sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face, and she is such a nice, soft thing to nurse. And she's such a good one for catching mice." "Oh, I beg your pardon," cried Alice again, for this time the mouse mouse was angry, and she felt sure it was truly offended. "We won't talk about her any more if you'd rather not." "We indeed!" cried the mouse, who was trembling, "as if I would talk on such a subject." "Our family always hated cats. Nasty, low things. Don't let me hear the name again." "I won't indeed," said Alice, in a great hurry to change the subject. Are you fond of dogs?" The mouse did not answer, so Alice went on eagerly. "There is such a nice little dog near our house I should like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, you know, with, oh, such long curly brown hair. And it'll fetch things when you throw them, and it'll sit up and beg for its dinner, and all sorts of things. I can't remember half of them, and it belongs to a farmer, you know. And he says it's so useful, it's worth 100 pounds. He says it kills all the rats and—" "Oh dear," cried Alice in a sad voice. "I'm afraid I offended it again." For the mouse was swimming away from her as fast as it could go, making splashes in the pool as it went. So she called softly, "Mouse, dear, do come back again, and we won't talk about cats or dogs either if you don't like them." When the mouse heard this, it turned around and swam slowly back to her. Its face was pale, with anger, Alice thought. It said in a low, trembling voice, "Let us get to the shore, and then I'll tell you my history, and you'll understand why it is I hate cats and dogs." It was time to go, for the pool was crowded with birds and animals that had fallen in. There were a duck, a dodo, a lory, an eaglet, and other strange creatures. Alice led the way, and the whole group swam to the shore.